Hello, slow roll tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy Renaissance with me, BlueAnkylo, as well as our team of lovely lads and lasses. The support group, mostly. We are level 10 because I figured might as well get the grinding done off camera, mostly. I did buy level 3 spells like I said I would, and at least one level 4 spell, which is about all the money I had, which is why we're at level 10. It took that long to get them. Other than that, there shouldn't be anything really new. Can't remember if I bought these on camera, but whatever. They're not that special. And everything else should look pretty same to you guys. Now, why are we over in Provoca? Well. Future tubers. Would you believe that a group of support characters can actually pop grind? Now, I'm not going to try to argue that this is the most efficient thing they can do. But hey, look, it's a couple giants. This is not exactly the fight I would ideally pick. I actually think the best fight is like 4 zombies, oddly enough. But let's see how we do here. It's not like a guarantee, but what I've been doing is using barrier as a limit and just trying to keep everybody alive long enough. Depending on what we're fighting against. In this group, I don't know. They're probably just going to kill people. We definitely want to put on the absorb. So we were able to... Basically, I grinded like a couple levels just fighting Kaizokus and stuff, getting the basic spells. Kind of like you'd expect. But what I realized was that if you can survive a round, and we have anti-ice... The Frostwolf packs, they don't guarantee kill you. I mean, it can be a problem. But we do have a pretty guaranteed way to kill a group of Frostwolves. The more statuses you remove with Exuviation, the more damage it does. Now, I'm not going to try to say it's an insane amount of damage, but it is some damage. Assuming we don't die. Blam, 286. Like I said, not really amazing. Probably why I'd rather use Frostwolves that have lower HP than just 2 giants. But we're gonna keep this up. Or at least we're gonna try. Our bard. Oh, geez, that was the wrong action on the bard. I wanted to hide. There we go. Another 174, 114. I actually think the exuviation damage is way too low. Like, and I don't, like, not even close. Sure, we're level 10 fighting giants, of course, but for the amount of setup, this is a full, like, basically the wall spell number of resistances, and we're still only getting, well, you saw it, maybe averaging 100, 150 damage. I accidentally lost all my buffs on the bard, and I can't do anything about it. I guess we could limit that or something, but... Oops. Alright, we should be good. We're starting to kill them. So the point is, you can definitely win these fights. That, I'm just going to reset, because it kind of takes a limit break to do it. You might not 100% need it, but it depends on what you're trying to fight. I want to show you the Frostwolf one, because that's, I think, the most obvious fight. There we go. Now, if they get the ambush off, you're in trouble. But we should be able to even... Well, I'm going to use the limit anyway, because that gives us a better exuviation. But we also have anti-ice, so that's 2 chances to, like, not get killed instantly, basically. And we got anti-ice off early, which means the frost attack isn't too deadly. And then once we've got some other buffs on, you know, we're doing alright. They definitely hit pretty hard. It's nice to have the dancer in the top row that can, actually, I meant to go drain Samba, self-heal a little bit. And theoretically, Exuviation should do some pretty solid damage here. Meanwhile, our white mage can try to just keep people alive a little bit longer. And if I don't mess up my bard inputs, a little bit of regen doesn't hurt. Need some turn order here. Thank you. A little bit more. Okay. Just barely pull that off. Unfortunately, it's not a guaranteed kill on New Game Plus. On normal mode, that would work, but then again, on normal mode, you won't have access to that limit at low levels. But we can do it 4 times in a row, so, you know, that kind of works. And then once you've got your spells or your songs up, unless you want to limit... So this is a special thing with the limit. New songs do not cancel old songs. That's the weird thing about the limits. You can double dip on regen or defense or for whatever songs you have. I think this means limited angel song could get you 10, 20, 15... Well, 5, 10, 15, 20% regeneration. Although I don't think this one gets buffed by your luck, whereas the Knight Mini does get buffed by your luck, so having more stacks of that should add a fair amount of absorb. We'll try that out more when we get to some boss fights, but anyway, point is, we can take some fights like that. It's pretty easy to get level ups with this group, let's just say. So we can grind. If we have a hard time dealing with Marsh or Astos, it shouldn't be particularly difficult for us to gain sort of an arbitrary number of level ups. And because most fights actually go pretty slowly, the run back here to get rested up takes about, like, I actually think it's pretty efficient leveling. Doing the all the way up there trip. Like, you need the limit breaks, you gotta do a full round trip per fight-ish. But, I mean, you'll see. Let's just fight some sharks. So sharks are, like, fine. But unless I want to try to set up, like, another Exuviate, which isn't great. Like, we're just swinging for normal damage right now. We don't have, like, if you're trying to avoid limits, is what I'm trying to say, so you can take a few fights. We're mostly just reliant on the Bard buffing our physical, and then basically our Dancer killing stuff, sort of. The Bard is very sustainable. We do get a little bit of healing, and as our levels get higher, I think now that we're like level 10, this isn't so bad. But when I started this grind, like level 5 or 6 or something like that, it was really difficult to win random battles. Well, how do I say it? Not difficult per se, but very slow. It was very, the XP per minute was not great. Fights just take a very long time to win. And it's mostly because Exuviate was my go-to. So the usual one, now that we're level 10, of course, we can show off the Kaizoku's a little bit better. This was what I basically did. I tried to get usually 4 or 5 groups, because we're going to be doing AoE. We might as well, if you're going to have to reset all the way back to the end every single fight, we might as well try to get a large group. At lower levels, we definitely can't one-shot them or anything, so what I was doing was like a poison. I eventually got lazy and just limited every single time, and then it's more damage, but the problem is the Exuviate doesn't do very much damage. So this is supposedly calculated, I don't know how the math works, but by the number of protection spells we've got. We've got anti-poison and anti-lightning. And that, well, maybe it applies your intelligence and your level or something as well, but so far has not been very effective in my testing. And I think, although I can't prove it, I think it might count the number of buffs when you select the spell, not when it hits the ally. Because I'm pretty confident anti-fire, even if Aiko goes before Leo, the Exuviate will do exuviation damage based on 2 buffs rather than 3. But it's really hard because I don't know the formula, so I can't. It seems like the damage is really low, even though I tried to set up a three-way thing. But this is a 2. So 2 Exuviates, we're looking 50 to 100 damage. Not great. Maybe we can sort of test it here. We might get a 3 or 4 Exuviate if we just don't kill them immediately. And maybe that'll give me an idea if you could get like 4. It should be 3 or 4 at least. But we'll see how this goes. So that's a 3. We did about 50 to 70 damage. Honestly, didn't seem any higher, really. And that should have been with 3 buffs that were stripped. So, for a lot of setup, a lot of spell slots, a lot of turns, it's still pretty darn weak. Anyway, that's that. Let's go buy a couple more white level 4 spells. And I think I have enough. Yeah, I bought a fair stash of the usual healing items. So we should be okay for Marsh. I mean, we'll see. Right, white magic. So, in terms of final spells for... Well, we can get 2 more. It's a little bit expensive still. But I picked up Reflect because it's kind of funny. I can think of a couple uses for it. It's unfortunate it's single target. I think... As far as level 4 spells, the overall selection is pretty weak. Like, inarguably, most of the spells at level 4 are garbage. Pure is trash. Fear is trash. Anti-Ice is situational. Anti-Mute is trash. Reflect is very situational. So there's not really much to buy. I think I got Anti-Ice, because, yeah, that way it gives us another Exuviation buff. I mean, we can get Fear, but we don't get experience when enemies run away. Reflect really doesn't matter. I will give Aiko Anti-Mute, and I don't know who did I even say? That's fine. I don't know. The thing is, I'm not going to buy Pure, so. I guess, the reason we have 2 people with Anti-Ice is because there's not enough good level 4 spells. Although they won't stack, it does mean I can turn spell slots into Exuviation damage, which unfortunately... And also for turn order, if you're fighting like a white dragon, maybe both people casting Anti-Ice means you get a higher chance of it triggering, even though you waste it a little bit. It's very, very mild. That's not a very powerful effect. I do like the anti-element spells. I think they're good. Like, they should exist. That's rude. Excuse me? Ambush. Crit. No, thank you. So far, our Dancer does have more luck than the Bard. So, I believe the Dancer as the active party member should give us the best chance of not getting ambushed with the 17 luck. They're pretty close, but maybe some random growth will change things. We could also probably just fight an Ogre, like 200 hit points on New Game plus. Dancer is doing some damage. It's not crazy yet. This is with the damage up spell or song. So, you know, not too bad. No reason to skip out on it. In terms of looting, is there anything we should pick up? I believe there is a harp, but it's locked at the bottom. It's probably not super valuable. I'm just going to double check before we get in here. Harps. Yeah, B3 Marsh. There's an anti-undead harp. Maybe we do come back and pick it up just because it's kind of unique, but it's going to be a little bit weaker than the auto harp. But it does do bonus damage to undead, which is, you know, pretty good. So I think for our first run, we just try to run from most things, because we might just die. You know, Marsh gonna Marsh. It might be worth trying to use, like, some free heals on the white mage, just get a prey off in between fights or something. Maybe? Depending on how much... Well, we've got enough heal potions, it's not a big problem, but... Like, we could just give up on one of our run chances to get free heal. It's kind of like using the heal staff, but, you know, if we had successfully ran with the white mage... I should turn the speed down a bit now that I'm recording. We maybe would have avoided the 58 damage if we had just escaped, right? I guess we could do the zigzag loot. So, if I remember correctly... Oh, come on, you punks. We did break the paralysis, which kind of broke Gatto's position there. It's kind of funny. Not a bug, just standard. I mean, maybe technically a bug, but yeah, if you start here and then go down, zigzag, right? And then you go right, we always get treasure. I gotta say the auto harp really messes with my inputs a lot. The house is pretty good to pick up if you want to just go straight to Astos, but that gets us straight to the big boss. Now this fight on New Game Plus is gonna hurt. I'm not hugely confident we get through this without anyone dying, but I'll give it a try. We got the good number of enemies at least. So I think we flurry, Ooh, what do we do? What do we do? We put Harden on, maybe? We don't have AoE, like, invis to anything yet. We can get Absorb up on one person. But my actual protections against these two wizards, I don't have any way to disable them. I don't have any way to really increase the group's defense significantly. The best we can do is put Valor Minuet on, or sorry, Knight's Mini. So we got good turn order, so we got a little bit of defense. Yeah. If only we'd gotten Harden off before instantly dying. It's not a good start. I think we're limiting the Virtuoso here to try to get our Absorb up as much as possible. Because we don't have enough time to do anything. You know, we can get enough Ruse stacks on that we'll be okay eventually, but... yeah, I don't know. I'm not... oh, we can't... I think the limit lasts for the entire battle. It doesn't have like a number of turns. So I can hide and then come back. But that means the two wizards are going to probably kill Leo. I think we lose. Oh, this sucks. Even two wizards is like too much. I mean, maybe if we'd gotten better turn order early on. I tried to use Stone Skin, but... I think this kind of proves that Fog and Armor doesn't do enough. Even in normal mode, it's pretty mild, and in New Game Plus, it's just not even close, I don't think. We can go 4 stacks of Knight's Mini. But yeah, how much difference does that make? Like, in theory, I've cast Fog a bunch too. I just didn't have enough time to do anything else, really. We hide. I don't know. Aiko's just gonna die. Turn order was bad again. But yeah, we're still taking a lot. See, this is... I mean, I can show you guys. The wizards do a lot of damage. And even though we've got a fair amount of Absorb, it still doesn't matter, right? Like, their maximum is 90. And they get 2 attacks each turn, each. And I think we might have... what do you think we're doing? I think Knight's Mini is supposed to be I don't know how to pronounce any of these things. Just call it Mini. Knight Mini, it's from FF2. I think it's 10 Absorb plus some amount from your luck. We cast it 4 times, so it should be 40 plus Absorb on top of our base of like 6 or 7, plus a couple Fogs. Assuming it all stacks, we should have at least 50 or 60 Absorb. But it's not enough, right? It doesn't do anything. Yeah, we're still taking 16 damage a hit. We're not even getting like 1 damage from these things. So how do we win against the wizards here without over-leveling? Yeah, this is never gonna do it. Not even close. So let's try this again. We'll have to come up with a different strat. Hopefully we get another 2 wizard fight, because I think the problem I have is this group is supposed to be all about survivability. And slowly killing enemies, basically. If we can't survive setting up at all, then we're going to have a really bad time. Now, in theory, we could get a lucky auto harp, get defense immediately, and then cast it with the limit again to get 2 stacks right off the bat. I don't think that's enough, though. I think we have to put the green mage on the top slot and go for Ruse immediately and hope that that soaks enough hits early on via just dodging rather than mitigating, damage mitigation, whatever. Same thing, but armor versus evade, I guess. We have to kind of hope we can get those off enough to charge up, maybe? I don't know if there's any real hope that we could rush them down. I don't think that's a valid strat here. Is this the one? Yeah. Okay, so put the evade character at the top. Okay. And we hope for defense on this song? The auto song, maybe? I don't know. 3 is not great. That's the wrong song. We need this Ruse to go off, like, immediately. I mean, I could be trying to drop their hit percent as well. Maybe I will, if I live long enough. We could go straight to Invis on Leo, because they're going to take the most... Like, the 50% of the attacks go to the top slot. So, in theory, that's something. I mean, I could put Angel Song on, but the regen... It's 10 HP, less than 10 HP per turn for everybody, so it's not very much. Come on, get that Ruse up. Okay. And we got a Ruse and an Invis, and we still got hit twice immediately, so not looking good. We need another Ruse. Maybe I'll try that quick step, because I think people are going to start to die. Do I go for more Invis on Leo or Cure? I think if we get a turn, I'd rather use Invis. And now we... Virtuoso some more defense, because they'll attack other people too. Okay, we got a good Ruse. Of course, Pinello's almost dead now. In theory, Leo should be very hard to hit. So now we try to keep the rest of the team alive, either Regen or Harden. Pinello needs something immediately. I'm going to go for a Drain Samba. Although the hit rate down would be nice. I don't have time for that. This is where I'm going to break my Benediction out, because I don't think we kill these guys without Pinello alive. And unfortunately, the Bard can't do anything until we take a turn to hide. Okay, we got a good Benediction. So we didn't need the Drain Samba after all. We got the Stone Skin, which should help a little bit. Okay. This is looking... Maybe we have a chance. Do we want to go Exuviation strategies? I want to put Harden on Aiko, I think. I don't know how long it really will last. It might get broken in one shot, but... let's charge up some more Flurry, and... I think after the Bard comes back, I might do some anti-spells on everyone to charge up and Exuviate. Maybe. I'm going to put some Evade on Pinello. And then you're going to come out, put up another level of Absorb. Like, I don't think it's huge, but 4 levels of Absorb is still better than most of what we got. And it is possible, I don't know how this would calculate, but if Stone Skin or Harden, if this applies after your base Absorb, so let's say the enemies do 100 damage normally, and you subtract 7 from Absorb, then Harden reduces 30 and that's the end of it, or whatever the calculation is. But if you have all your buffs for Absorb up from the Bard, and you're like minus 50 damage, then maybe the Stone Skin will last longer. But I don't know. Maybe the Stone Skin is applied before the armor buffs. It hopefully isn't. Regardless, we're kind of running out of these. Regen only lasts 4 turns. I think I put Harden on the Bard. I think Pinello flurries another turn. I think Aiko doesn't have enough We put 1 invis on Pinello, that's not very much, but Aiko's the lowest right now. And then we do another Night. Okay. We're starting to see some misses and some low damage. The Harden won't last forever, but that should buy us a little bit of time. So now I do a couple anti-spells, I guess. Maybe we use our limit here and try to drop their evade. I don't think it's gonna, or their hit rate, really, mostly. I mean, I have, in practice, hit percent down barely matters, but, yeah, I need those exuviations, I think. So Gato is now fully charged. I actually don't want him to run away, because I want him to get hit by the anti-spells, and splitting up the enemy attacks is honestly perhaps in our favor. Although it's ideal if they attack Leo right now with max evade. Okay, so they're hit down again. I think we're okay now. Gotta remember which buffs I put on. Anti-ice, anti-poison, more hit down. I don't think I did I can't remember which ones I cast. Anti-fire. I'll just start doing exuviations next turn because I can't keep track too much. I wish there was there's those little icons for all the bard songs and also the enchants from the summoner, but there's nowhere on the screen that keeps track of your anti-spells, and because, well, they're individual rather than group, so it's tricky. I can't understand it. Alright, so we should have a lot of protections that we don't need. The wizards shouldn't be hitting us. Now we go for, I guess... Oh, I should have just done this. I'm a big dummy. I forgot about barrier. Okay, let's just do that. I forgot. We have a limit that gives us them all. Yeah, that would have been smarter. Would have taken like couple less turns. I would have saved all my spell slots. Yeah. Okay, that was dumb. Sorry. Okay, if their hit rate is down enough, I could have Gato switch to offensive spellcasting as well. I don't know if that's true, but it's a theory. Okay, so let's go exuviate. Yeah. This should kill them in a couple rounds, so I think we'll be okay now. We did do a lot of evade down, or hit down, so I'm okay with that. And my white mage should be able to just pray a little bit. I do think if you didn't use exuviate, if you didn't have a green mage for that, the strategy would have been get everyone evade, or with a dancer lower the hit rate. If you can get their hit rate eventually to 0, which I think takes quite a while, then maybe you use a armor on the bard until they start missing all the time, and then you switch them all to valor, and then you can start actually getting some kills. But we're not going to use physical attacks on this fight, so I don't need it. Yeah, that's pretty good damage. The limit into exuviate, maybe you could just rush that as well, because that's 2 turns to maybe start killing. That might have been better. Limit immediately. Especially if you put her... Well, I needed the ruses to survive. I don't know. You could put the green mage at the bottom, or limit break turn 1, and then exuviate turn 2. Hope that you get the kills. But your top row people are almost certainly dead. It's just, luck if they live, basically. Anyway, this should be fine. We've got this now. Sure. Okay, so definitely doable at level 10. Definitely a little bit of thinking there. Do we just run, or do we grab our house? We'll grab our house. It's up. I went the wrong way. Now, this is kind of a funny fight, because you could always just win it with the bard. Never mind. Bard sucks. Not on New Game Plus. On normal mode, yes. Sure. We'll pick up something to sell on our way to go. I don't... how tight is money going to be on this run? We got 2 casters worth of spells. Ow? By the way? Excuse me? Leo just got absolutely stabbed in the back. Those gargoyles just erased them. I don't even think we had a turn there. Run! Please run. Do not do this to me, game. We survived the ridiculous wizard battle with our support team. Do not take this away from me. Bats. Okay. But I think everybody in the party contributed to the wizard fight. So it's nice that it's like not super synergistic, but you know, everyone has a role to play. And technically the green mage shocked the wizards into death eventually. Alright, we're good. Save. I guess we're going back to Elfland, and then we'll go deal with Astos after. Alright, it's gonna be like that. Some juicy ogre XP. Not today. The input, there's like, I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like on the Bard song, or the sustain or new, there's like a weird like input lag where when Leo's turn pops up, nothing, like no inputs work for like half a second or something. And it's hard to describe, but maybe I should get like have a little, you know how speedrunners, if you guys have watched, they got like a little on-screen display of all their inputs from their controller. Then they can prove it was input lag, because the game doesn't respond in time or something. That's what I want to do. Prove it. Alright, well, I'll leave the green wizard in the second slot for now. Dancer is getting more HP for the moment, although I believe the green wizard will eventually catch up. And surpass. Brutal. It will take longer to heal that than it will to just reset. We got ambushed again. We did not get ambushed. Oh. Because I didn't save after I resurrected. Fix my inventory. This is why I don't like people getting dropped to the bottom of the group. Just let them lay where they die. It's fine. How many times do I have to press down to go to new? 3. Okay, here we go. So, I have a funny plan. We'll see if it works. It's got like a 50% chance. Well, it's less than 50%. Somewhere, something like that. Funny plan. Let's get going. So, Flurry. Reflect. He doesn't do a lot of physical. He does do magic, but I guess mute is pretty funny too. His physical is not a big deal. But we have no armor, and he hits. Actually, let's see. How bad does he attack? You know what? He actually hits pretty hard, as it turns out. For now, we can just put on a mini. Although it shouldn't matter depending on how this goes. We failed the mute, we got the reflect, and we bounced it back at least. It didn't kill him, but I mean that's what I was going for. So that's why it's less than a 50% chance. Alright. If I was a higher level, we could spam more reflects, but 2 we'll have to do. We can try a couple more mutes. Let's get the rest of our buffs online. I haven't used a limit yet. We obviously should. There we go. Hit him with a silence. Anytime you've got a white mage, I don't know the odds. Don't never tell me the odds, but because Renaissance adds intelligence to those kinds of spells, I don't think it's particularly unlikely that if you try 2 or 3 mutes, like 1 probably hits pretty often. So now all those reflects are literally detrimental, and they only last 2 turns, which kind of stinks. Anyway, the fight's over, really. There's nothing else to talk about. Is there anything I would want to do here for funsies? Oh, when you die, you lose your benefaction. Sure. I guess, like, Shell would have been good if we didn't have Mute. Because he's going to start Ice 2ing us. This would have reduced that a fair bit. Anyway, I'll just put the barrier on and, guess we just start swinging. There's not much else to do. We should then... I hate how on this screen, if I don't get my inputs right, it undoes it. Like, I don't know. It's very, very frustrating dealing with this Bard sustain. It's not a big deal, but I wish there was a smoother interface for this part. Like maybe fight turns into sustain, and then normal fight goes to somewhere else, maybe like to the left or something. I don't know. I'm not really sure, but we're gonna probably be doing physical attacks, so minuet. Okay, reflect should burn out next turn. We're pretty pumped up in terms of hit percent. We can do one more to get to max. But we'll find out if Exuviate does anything. It should do some damage. And the White Mage, probably not really contributing a whole lot. I mean, Mute was the best, so it's fine. Might as well attack, I guess. And we have to... See, I think this is probably what it is. So, normally when you're in the magic screen, if you press back, it takes you to your regular fight magic menu. It's taking me back 2 steps when I back out of it. So it always throws me off, and then I double back, and then I lose the turn. I have to, like, it's just, it's not very intuitive. I don't know how to fix it exactly, but it's yet another reason I don't like bards. Sorry, bard lovers. 244 damage. You know what? You know what? That's not too bad. We got him with double Exuviate. Sure. I was expecting the Dancer to finish him off, but that's fine. Okay. I didn't really expect this to be a particularly challenging battle. I was hoping the Rub would kill him on Reflect, but it's okay. Can't win them all. Maybe I should unequip the Auto Harp for random encounters just to save me time. Or we just fight them, I guess. How's our damage looking? It's about to go up because we're going to get better weapons for everybody. Hey, look, Bard music for our Bard. Maybe they should have just added a piano in every town. Talking to people is too spoony. So this is with no Valor Minuet, or I never know which song is which. With no damage up song. Our basic attacks are pretty darn weak. But that's okay. I am going to unequip that for now. Save. And we're going to go do our fetch quests. Because, oh boy, that took a lot longer than I was hoping. And I want to get all this done this episode. Because there's going to be more grinding to do. I will say, though, that level 10 was probably more than enough. Please. Please. Once we get to Melmond and can buy some silver bracelets, that will help. Definitely will help. Although, New Game Plus, I feel like we're just going to get smacked constantly for this whole run, but... At the very least, we will get smacked slightly less painfully. It's kind of crazy how much smoother these random encounters are when we don't have Auto Harp. Yeah, definitely if you're just running through imps and stuff that you don't want to fight anyway, just turn it off. The input delay is, well, it might depend on how familiar you are with the base game. The more you've played the original and are like used to input timings and stuff, probably the worse the mix is. I know it's kind of a bit of a meme. There's a lot of ROM hacks. I've seen them on like Super Metroid, Link to the Past, stuff like that, that are designed to be trolls, and they literally just mix up the timing on stuff or the placement of things. And it's worse on like speedrunners and, you know, racers and completionists, because the more you've memorized the game, the worse. Like, imagine just moving the entrance here a little bit. You're almost like blind walking through if you've done this 100 times. If you actually have to think about your routing, your muscle memory just fights against you so hard. So that's kind of how I think the Bard extra, whatever we're calling that, a copper bracelet is not worth selling in town. Like, a lot of the armor we're not going to have space for, and it's not going to be worth really selling, I don't think. The iron armor we already picked up. The copper, I should have sold those earlier technically, but... okay, so we have the key to my heart. We are 40 minutes in. We got lots of time to clear out. We have enough time, not tons, but I have enough time to clear out the locked chests. Do I pick up the rune and wear swords? I think I do. I think we're gonna run out of money, basically. We're gonna need to buy 3 silver bracelets, assuming I get the free one. And that's 15,000 gold. There is maybe some scarves we can buy for a little bit in Crescent Lake. And the level 5 and potentially 6 spells are not cheap. And we haven't even bought all the level 4 spells, but at least we want to buy level 5, because that'll give us life. Just we need some life. So these swords aren't, you know, effective. We don't equip them or anything. I don't think anyone can. It's not really a weapon style party, but I will go get my free harps. There's, I think there's a harp at both of our locked dungeons, actually. The treasure room in Astos' castle, I believe, has a harp. And the bottom of Marsh does. What the crap with these gargoyles? I know we're on New Game Plus, but what? It was just... It has a 1% crit chance, but I guess because it gets 4 attacks, that 1% really, really hits more than you think. I mean, we only have like 6 or 7 absorb, so it's 11 to 30-ish damage. I guess 30 damage times 4 would be 120, so sure. But that was like 180 damage crit. Like, that was at least 1, or probably even at least 2 of the 4 hits had to be crits. So, it's just brutal. I mean, it's, you know, we're getting attacked hundreds or thousands of times per run, so of course it'll happen now and then, but it's kind of the statistics of large numbers, or at least nearly large numbers. I'm not trying to quote first-year statistics theorems, but, yeah, when things happen a lot, weird-looking things will happen, but that's just because you're not really mentally keeping track of how many times those dice are rolled. How many attack crit percent chances do you think our party is exposed to in a typical run? There's a lot of enemies that can attack 4, 5, 6 plus times. You don't see it. Sometimes you dodge. You barely even notice how many times you get hit, usually. You just look at the damage total or something, right? But each of those has a crit chance, even at 1%, and it's gonna happen, you know. 1% of the time, assuming the math isn't cheating. The silver armor is worth enough to sell, probably. It doesn't matter. I don't want to have to rebuy gloves and stuff, so. Just to check, we cannot equip silver armor, even though it's sort of light-ish armor. And we do have a silver hammer for our white mage. Don't we usually get... Yeah, 2 silver daggers. So... you have to unequip them both. It's kind of weird. It just always equips over the second slot, unless you turn them both off, kind of thing. But yeah, that's a... Well, you'll see. Like, that's a pretty good damage up for the Rhythmicist. Penelo is about to get another attack in a couple level ups, and the damage should be looking pretty good with those. Although, I think you can actually buy daggers in Melman. And maybe even Crescent. So it kind of obsoletes these almost immediately if you remember to check the shop. I did not remember that the last time we did a dancer run, I don't think. Yeah, Melman sells them, not Crescent Lake. Just no. Well, Crescent Lake sells silver daggers, but we can get a potentially better one in Melman, which is fun. That'll be a pretty big damage up. But I think before we do that, I will finish my Inner Sea loop. We'll go to Astos' lair, pick up the power staff and other junk. And I guess we'll do another marsh dive. Oof, ouchie. Better buy some heal potions. Well, I say that. You know what? Slight routing upgrade. I'm going to get some armor. Let's sell what we don't need. Come on. I feel like my controller's really struggling today. Doesn't use batteries or anything. I forgot to equip that. After all that... Yeah, look how much money those extra swords we picked up are worth. Pretty solid. Okay, we'll keep that for now. Okay, equip silver hammer. It's a small upgrade at least. That's everything for now. Armor, we can sell... Those two. Okay. Now, we could definitely buy 4 silver bracelets, but I am going to get one for free, so I'm going to really watch my gold as much as I can here. Okay, that's a pretty major armor up. And there's nothing else. We can get a scarf at Crescent, but I'll save that till after we're done Marsh. I don't want to backtrack too much here. And then, yeah, the Gladius, surprisingly expensive, but it's just a straight upgrade over the Silver Dagger. And it's Dancer only, so you only even see this if you have a Dancer in your party. But, I mean, we'll take it. It's a little bit more crit and 5 more damage. Although on the second one you get like half of that, so it's 2 more damage or something like that. But hey, that's more damage. I need it. I need it. Oh, also, there's one other thing we can do. Don't forget, Blue, you got a Dancer in your team. Where's our Dancer? Hey there. This is perhaps the most broken one anyway. So this is the real reason. We can now reduce all enemy stats by at least 25%. That'll make any wizard fights much easier. I know it might not look like it on paper, but trust. We might get another Bard song too. He said enchantment. I wonder, did my Bard music get bugged? Oh, there it is. Something's... I thought something was funny last episode, but I didn't like rewatch the footage. Oh, I hope we don't have one of the songs bugged out the whole run. What was the 4th one? I can look it up. Yeah, because it should have said some number out of some number for level 4. Hold on. We are in danger. Where is this? Guides, help me. The Discord is where I'm looking this time around. Final Fantasy Renaissance guides. Pretty sure someone has a list of all the Bard stuff. Certainly I'm not the only person that forgets where all the teachers are. Control F, Bard. Come on. No? Song? Well, there's a list of all of them, but not where you find them. Surely someone's got this somewhere. Dang it. There's the summon locations. That's nice. Weapons and armor. No one ever uses bards. That's the truth. Level up guides. Astral stuff. Class and stat growth. Every bat in the game for your Dark Knights. Every battle you can't run from. All the enemies you can poach. Everything you can search for treasure for a thief. But what about how to learn all the Bard songs? Also, what happens when one of them bugs out? There might actually not be a guide for this. That's funny. What about my spell list? Does that have where they are, maybe? Okay, here we go. There is a list. Okay. In good old Sir System Error. Nope. It doesn't show you where you can get them all. It just shows you what they do. Well, someone tries... It's one person's description. The level 4 one is Hero's Rhyme, Pride. Okay, that's the least important one. That's the one that gives our morale and luck up. Basically makes enemies run more. It's almost completely garbage. And honestly, if you're using Auto Harp, it's a downgrade. Because you almost never want to start the battle with it. So, okay, if we accidentally don't get the level 4 song, that's actually maybe a good thing. Whoops. Accidentally into success. Okay, sorry for the little speed bump there. That was a curiosity. Because I do think the auto harp... Oh, I have to talk to the prince again. I forgot about that too. The bard can get another harp. We're going to get a lot of harps early game. The supposedly endgame harps. Ultimate harp, go! Hey, give me a harp. So, this is a special one. It doesn't cast a spell, but it puts enemies to sleep. So, hey, less damage, but it might make running through marsh easier. I don't know the odds. Like, I don't know if this is like just casting the sleep spell, or if it's just automatic, everyone goes to sleep kind of thing. That's a 4 out of 6. Not bad. And it doesn't count as like a sustain, so it doesn't mess my inputs up. Although it does slow down the start of battle, certainly. One fun thing, though, is now if we want to level grind, we can definitely use these tiles in here to fight undead. Not that most of the armor or weapons is very valuable. I guess you... Nah, the power staff is so bad, it's worse than an iron staff. The rune harp, that's your way of killing the lich, I guess. Sort of. We did that. We did a solo bard. I don't know why, but I did it. Yeah, this is your chance to show off those harm spells. Okay, Lullaby, it did work on the undead. Interesting. I wouldn't have expected that either, actually. The green mage is actually pretty weak against undead, but we have harm too, and if I go to the marsh cave, we'll get the anti-undead harp as well, which should do a little bit of damage. Harm 2 gets the job done. So, anyway, now that we're going to grind here, I just wanted to show off that obviously that's a pretty good fight if you've got a white mage or a black mage. I didn't buy any extra heal potions, oh well. Yeah, so if Lullaby does... If it's like non-elemental, which I'm kind of hoping, the fact that it seemed to work on... Okay, because I'm going to... It's tactically beneficial to start by putting enemies to sleep, but it slows things down, so I'm going to use the battle speed thing to go up faster. Yeah, if that counts as non-elemental and like a reasonably high accuracy rate, that could be really good. The ambushes, though, not very good. We are getting like 80% hit rate so far on most groups. I mean, they have very low magic defense, so that's probably fair. So the only thing we're doing is getting the silver bracelet and the harp, and then we're running away, I think. Yeah, we still got 4 out of 6. I think as long as it gets around 50% of enemies, and if it's ignoring, you know, the usual status protections, that might make it better than I was originally thinking. Obviously not really the kind of weapon... That was a 1 in 3, but not the kind of weapon I want on a solo bard run. But maybe the all bard run. Ooh, I haven't really thought of doing those, because solo challenges kind of like... They are like the ultimate challenge, I think. But you can do like a mono class run where you just bring 4 of the same class. And there would be some very interesting synergies for some of these classes. 4 bards means you can have an auto harp. Well, assuming you start promoted, but at some point you'll have auto harp plus lullaby at the beginning of like every battle. And I don't know how bard songs stack with each other. That might be something we have to learn if we ever do that run. I don't think I will. But you guys should tell me if it works. Anyway, I'm gonna just trade that, I guess. Okay, we've got the free silver bracelet. We are gonna get the undead killing harp. Oof. Yeah, lobsters, scorpions, they're land lobsters. They probably hit harder than those gargoyles did, actually. Which one is it? I can never remember. I think it's not this room. I think it's the next room to the right. This one has, like a silver knife or something, maybe? Nighty-night, cobras. Sleepy tight. Silver knife! Hey, I did remember that. Just wasn't super confident. And then this one is, yeah, the third from the left is the one that's usually empty. Locked and empty. For us, though, extra. So this harp, in theory, does a lot of damage to the undead. The problem is, the base bard damage is so low that the effective bonus is still not very much. With only one bard, we also can't give him like a damage up boost. Like, that's why I was thinking a lot of bards might be interesting. Because your damage is so weak, but if you could have like 2 or 3 stacks of Valor, Valor Minuet boosting the one attack bard that has an effective weapon, that might actually punch pretty well for a free AoE attack. And in theory, you'd be doing a lot of juggling of like defense, regen, but I don't know if there's a limit of 4 songs active at a time, no matter how many bards you have, then it's maybe not amazing, but you could probably have like 2 attacking bards and then 2 buffing bards, and that would get the buffs up pretty fast. But we'd have to find out if you can have the same buff up twice. The limit lets you, but can multi-bards let you, right? So this is, yeah. You know what? Half of those guys asleep. This is gonna make Earth and Ice a lot less terrible. Because if you can put a few to sleep, then the White Mage can spam Harm or something, and we've got a pretty good chance of not getting stun locked. Either running away or sweeping with a big Harm spell. Although on New Game Plus, they might have too much HP for Harm to kill them. Harm is not crazy strong, although it does work on undead. They're just a little bit too tanky. One thing I'm kind of hoping to try out is reflecting some healing spells onto some undead, like maybe the Lich or something, because that sounds kind of fun. So now if we attack, just for interest's sake, right? You go attack up, 138 damage on the Dancer. The problem with the sleep is as soon as you hit them, they wake up. So it doesn't... Auto Harp is probably better when you're not running away. Yeah. If you're gonna run away, Lullaby's fine. I guess in a magic party... Wait. Do you think sonic damage is considered magic? Because magic damage doesn't wake up a sleeping target. So getting free sleep and then pummeling them with magic, waiting for them to naturally wake up, is way better than hitting them for 1 damage with a staff, waking them up and then immediately getting crushed by an ogre. Also, if your stats are implied here, like if your intelligence is increasing the chance of that lullaby working, that would be a pretty nice buff. I am a little bit low on money. We can sell the power staff for sure. Get out of here, garbage staff. I'm gonna hold on to the harps for now, because they all have a use. Anti-undead, anti-spellcaster, free sleep, free song. Those are okay. And we'll sell the gloves. So we'll see how much money we really have. I think I don't buy my level 4 spells yet because they're basically garbage. I probably already bought more than I should, just because money's going to be a little tight. But, like, anti-mute is so niche, and having 2 anti-ice is whatever. It is an hour. Let's get the Crescent Lake trip out of the way, because if I am going to do a little grinding, I'd rather do it there than well, we can do it there. I'd rather do it right beside a town that we can rest in than anywhere else, because limit breaks definitely make this a lot easier to level up. Well, to grind, right? Our basic, we'll do this one more time. Our basic attack is not great. I think when Pinello gets a couple more levels, and we can get a 3rd attack, that should feel pretty good. With the new Gladius weapons. Yeah, 125 with the minuet up. Not bad. It does kind of look like we somehow glitched out the Bard song. So this is the second time. This is the first time I've had a Bard song get skipped. But I have had a dancer dance get skipped. I'm not sure what's causing it. I'm going to assume it's the high... it's like the speed up or something. Having the gameplay speed up, maybe. But it's definitely some kind of bug. I don't know how I would replicate it. But I have talked to the correct girl to learn dance. And it's like the variable that triggers it got skipped. And it just assumed I already knew it, even though I didn't. I think we must have had something similar happen with the Bard, where we should have learned the 4th song, but it didn't trigger. So now when you talk to people, no one will teach us it because they think we already know it, even though we don't. So that's my hunch anyway. We'll see how things go. Maybe I just didn't talk to somebody. Can we can't... No, we can get this dance too. That's right. Another reason to come here. Oh, no, you're not allowed to until you kill the vampire. Right. This one, it's not even all that important because the polka is so good. But, yeah, we can't get that song yet. Or that dance yet. In terms of songs... Enchantment... Mitigation... Dancers shouldn't teach music because they don't always exist. Enchantment... Ruthlessness. Now, it is possible picking up another song is going to be we can get enchantment in one more, it might even be here, maybe. That gives you allies magic damage up, which actually might be good in this group. Although it does dilute the, looks like we're not getting it. Oh no, there we go. That does dilute the auto harp a little bit. We've got more effects, so if you're going with an all magic party with an auto harp, skip Valor. If you're going with an all physical party with a bard, maybe skip Mana Payon. If you're trying to use auto harp. If you don't care about auto harp, then it doesn't really matter. But I do think 30% more magic damage is pretty good. So I'm okay with that. And then later on, we'll be able to buy Exit, because we're already promoted. That makes... I will probably want to grind until I can at least buy Exit for the White Wizard. That way we can kill the vampire and exit immediately. Shell 2 is really good as well for Lich, assuming we don't get a mute off. And then Invis and Fog 2. Seems like we need more invisibility casters, maybe. Soft is basically garbage, so we can skip that and take everything else. So it'll be Exit, Fog, Invis, and Fog, Invis, Shell for those. Once we get enough money. But that's not going to happen right now. Oh, also, I forgot. Yeah, we have a better scarf for these two. That should get us another attack with the dancer. Yeah. Well, no, one more level up. Close. Technically an extra attack there, but I'll probably be doing auto harp for grinding. There's no undead or spellcasters. I could go back and grind on the mummies, but I'm not sure. I guess once we get level 5 spell slots, Harm 3 is viable for that. I have to buy the level 3. I have to buy the level 5 spells before we do this stuff anyway. Before we do level 6 spells. So, obviously I need a lot of money. I haven't really been showing you these random encounters much for just grinding sake. I think the thing is, even if you're interested in watching them, they're pretty slow. And we don't really have a good way to disable enemies at all. So we kind of just get stuck in this loop of like trying not to die, I guess. I don't know what else to say. We don't kill very quickly. They can still crush us if we don't take them out really fast, right? Like, we do have some really good like survivability kind of spells, of course. Like, you know, they exist, but friggin' bards, man. But I find a lot of times we win the fight, like, slowly, and then I just have to go back to the inn anyway. So we're not really rushing through these. The grinding basically just takes a long time. That's all I'm trying to say. So would I rather do it on camera or off camera? Well, probably off camera a lot. Because then I could just listen to someone else play something, or I can watch some more dinosaur videos. But I think the proof is that there's... I don't know what else to say. There's nothing here that we can't kill in a random encounter, and we have options for grinding, but it's going to be slow. So rather than showing it all off, which I know some people prefer watching all of that. If you are heard, you are seen. I know you guys exist, and I'm sorry I can't devote tens of hours of video uploads to it. But trust me, I will spend an hour or two getting everyone a few level ups. I'm thinking 15, 16, 17 kind of range. Enough that I can buy at the very least my level 5 spells. Although it would be nice to have Exit. I don't know if I'm going to be able to grind enough levels to get Exit on the White Wizard, because that'll save us a loop in Earth. Or save us a trip anyway, which would be nice. But it might take too long. I don't know. I'll think about it. Can we kill the vampire right now? Maybe. He hits really hard, though, and the same thing with the Lich. The problem is, although we were able to mute Astos with a couple tries, high magic defense, but no resistances, that's not going to work on the Lich, guaranteed. Lower magic defense, but resist status, so we're not just going to easily get it. And 800 hit points. We do have good magic protection. We can get anti-ice, anti-lightning, anti-fire, plus shell, and we won't take too much damage, but getting there will still be the hardest part, as is tradition. So anyway, I think I've described this enough. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this group. It's interesting. I don't hate it, but there's definitely some, well, supports aren't, you know, I'm not surprised that this group is weaker than the last two, but bards are just not that great, and I don't think greed mages are either. So it's not just that this is the support team. This is some of these classes aren't as overpowered as the last couple runs. Nobody in here other than the dancer. And to be fair, actually, yes, we can definitely kill the Lich because we can polk it down to 1 damage. As long as we can keep Penelo alive a few turns, we win. So keep that in mind. We can probably beat almost any boss at a pretty low, arbitrarily low level. But we have to get there through random encounters, and that can be really, really slow. Anyway, I gotta get some money. I'm gonna figure that out. I'll see you next time. Get paid. Have a good day. See you next time.